Hola, mi gente, and welcome to Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. This short form podcast features the stories of Latinos from our community, from engineers, business owners, students, and so much more. Each episode will give you a quick boost of motivation and encouragement before starting your day. I'm your host, Sonia Camacho. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. Today I have two amazing guests, Jen and Vero Zeano. They are the founders of JZD. JZD is a Latina and lesbian-owned brand that started in 2016 and is famous for their focus on Latina power. They're sold online and in-store. You can check their website for all the locations. And I'm so excited to have you both here. You both are so inspirational, and I know the listeners are really going to love hearing your stories. So please tell us a little bit more about yourselves and give us the inspiration of where JZD came from.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be on. I'm Jen.
And I'm Vero.
And like you were saying, we're the founders of JZD. And we started JZD almost 7 years ago. I actually have a degree in psychology, and Vero has a degree in
legal justice studies.
So not remotely close to what we're doing, but about 7 years ago, we kind of got this wave of inspiration. And so we created the Latina Power shirt. And once we created that, I think both of us really felt like we had found what we wanted to do with our lives.
Right.
And we just heavily invested ourselves into the business. And so 7 years later, here we are.
That's amazing. So, can you tell us a few of the struggles that you've encountered as queer Latinas that were wanting to start a business? Because I know that it was not an overnight success. So, really bring us back to the beginning and tell us all of the struggles and pain points.
Absolutely. So, I think one of the biggest struggle that we have encountered and have kind of had to get creative with is capital. And I think that as Latinas and as queer women, it tends to be this way for a lot of us. And I think that the way we did it is we got really creative. And when we first started, we started super small. And I mean, when I say super small, I mean super small. We had one product and we were on Etsy. We didn't even have our own website yet. And what we did was we did as much as we could with free resources. And then we didn't invest in like a website, we didn't invest in machinery or equipment. We were doing everything on a super small scale, and then we were taking our earnings, what we were making, and then we were reinvesting it right back into the business. And we kind of did that over and over and over and over again until now we have over 100 products on the website. But no matter what level of business we are in, capital tends to be one of the biggest struggles. And it's for us, it's just been pivoting and making decisions to find ways to do things for less.
Yeah, for less. And also, again, our background is not in business whatsoever. And it's not like we come from parents that also had businesses or anything. We're the first ones to do this. I'm a first generation Mexican American. Jen is an immigrant. So this was all new for us. And then you add to it that we are queer. So it was a little bit of maneuvering, like, how will
Uncharted
people,
waters.
like, how will people take that it's lesbians doing this together? At some point, I was like, maybe you shouldn't say that we're married because what if that closes the doors for us? But fortunately enough,
I mean, since the very beginning, we were super open about who we were. And thankfully, it has resulted in good experiences and support. I think that unfortunately, it's one of the fears of being queer women of when you're in the business world or actually just in the world in general. You don't know how people are going to react. And it's who we are. And so we kind of just didn't shy away from it. And we have been super grateful to build a community of people who support us and don't necessarily, they're not at all phased by it. You know, they're just supportive of who we are and of our business and the things that we put out and the messagings that we're spreading. And so we're just incredibly grateful for that.
So, is there any advice that you wish you knew before starting your journey into entrepreneurship and starting this business, especially as a minority?
I think the most important thing is to not be so preoccupied about things being perfect. At the beginning, there were so many things that I wanted to do that I didn't do because I was like, it's not perfect. I'm not going to put it out because it's not, I haven't been able to do everything, or I don't have the perfect photography and I don't have the perfect emails and all of these things that go into like the marketing and promoting your product and putting yourself out to the world. And I think that if you get rid of that mentality of wanting things to be perfect and you start putting things out there, it's just a part of the process. And so I think the biggest advice is to just start now and stop waiting for the perfect moment or stop waiting for the perfect photography, the perfect website. All of that will come with time. And I think just starting and putting yourself out there, building your social medias, building your email list, all of those things, it's just a part of the journey and you don't need to have it perfect at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what Jen said. I mean, it's difficult to it's easy now because hindsight is 2020. So it's easier now for us to be like, well, just we should have just started when we wanted to start it, because we were gonna do it either way, and look at us now, right? But I think every time you're gonna start something new, you have this fear. And if you don't have fear to start it, then that's not what you want to do. So if you have this little, nagging fear getting at you, or you're like,
It's a
I don't,
good
it's a
thing.
good thing. That means that it's something that you really want to do. And that fear will help you try not to fail or not see, I guess, what one would think as failures as failures. They're all just lessons because you got to pick yourself up and keep on going.
Definitely. You can't grow unless you fail, and you have to
Yeah.
use that fear as motivation. I 100% agree. I feel like I can relate to that so much with my content creation. I look back and I'm always like, "Oh, I wish I would have started when I was a freshman in college." But, it's like you said, so much easier said than done. But I think something I love to tell people, and it's kind of ironic since I work at Nike, but I'm always just like, just do it. Like, there's never a right time or wrong time to start. Um, like you have to just in the moment make those kind of decisions. So I love that you guys mentioned that.
Yeah, it's a part of the beautiful process and journey, and eventually it all makes sense.
Well, can you tell us future goals that you have for the brand and where you really see it growing and its potential in the next coming year to 3 years?
Yes, we're so excited about the growth of JZD. We have so many things that we are planning and that are in the works already. We hope to continue to grow within the retail and wholesale world. So that's a whole other journey that we are embarking on that we're super excited about. And then obviously I think the biggest and most important goal is that we hope to continue spreading the message of empowerment for our community, hoping to continue to grow our community and creating fun stuff for the community.
And lastly, before you leave, I would love to touch on the opportunity that you guys had to sell your products in Target for Latino Heritage Month. I feel like a lot of the listeners will recognize your products once we make all the graphics and everything. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I recognize that brand. So, could you walk us through that moment of getting that brand deal and really what that whole journey was like?
Yes. So when Target reached out to us, we 100% thought it was not true. Like we were convinced, like this
It
is
was
obviously a
it's a
scam.
scam. They're just trying to take our info. They're gonna steal our identity. I don't
Yeah.
know what we're thinking.
We just did not think it was real. And I took a screenshot of the email and I sent it to our team and I was like, this is like spam, right? And our team was like, don't get excited. Let me do some research. And so we did some like heavy stalking on LinkedIn. And we were like, no, like this is a person that works at Target. Like this is real. And so then from that point on, we just had such an incredible journey with learning so much because obviously it was the first time that we had an experience like that. And because we had never done it before, there were so many things that we didn't know. But going through that journey, we learned so much. We enjoyed the entire process so much. It was, I'm not gonna lie, incredibly difficult. But it was 100% amazing and worth it, and we would love to do it again. So we are continuing to build a foundation to grow within the retail world. But once we launched at Target, we were in the process for like a little bit over a year. And then once we launched at Target, it was incredible because what we were most excited was how our community was going to react. And so once we posted it on socials and we put the information out into the world, people started to really get excited about it. And they were
Yeah.
like, we were receiving DMs and comments of people saying, I know that this is your brand, but it feels like a win for me. And I think that was like the most beautiful thing because yeah, it's our brand, but without our community and our customers and our supporters, there would be no brand. And so I always like to say like, yes, it's our brand, but it's their brand as well because they are making these decisions, and we have a super open communication with them on socials. And so even for Target, like they decided what some of the items would be without them knowing, because obviously I couldn't tell them, but I was like doing polls on Instagram as I was working through the designs, and so they were picking.
What was gonna go
Yeah.
into the designs? Yeah.
So it was a super fun experience.
Okay, well, before the episode ends, I would love for you both to share some words of encouragement or advice for other people in the community.
Yes, just go for it. And I think that sometimes we tend to feel like we're not good enough or strong enough or we don't have experience in it. So just try your best to put those thoughts aside and go for it and see what happens.
And another thing is, for all those queer kids out there, two lesbians did it. Two Latina lesbians did it. We made it to Target. And if you want to use this as an inspiration, use us, because we didn't have that growing up. And being able to see us there now is amazing. I think about what it would have done for me as a kid, and it would have done wonders. So, yeah.
Love that. I absolutely love it. Representation matters 110%. This is why we do what we do. So thank you again, Jen and Vero. I will have all of their socials linked down below on this episode, their personal Instagrams as well as the brand. Make sure to go connect with them and check out their products. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Follow the podcast on all social platforms at Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Want to be featured in a future episode? Email cuéntame.sonia@gmail.com. Thank you to our equipment sponsor, Shure.